Hello, welcome into this mystery reading. I'm Molly, the Quantum Leap Queen. Thanks for joining me on this reading. These readings are a timeless resource for you to come utilize whenever you need some extra nourishment in your life. So trust that if you found this reading today, there is a message here for you. I'm setting the intention, as always, to give you the best messages that you need to hear today. And I am starting with the Rainbow Tarot. So let's take a look. What are we looking at today with my friend? I have Justice out. I have the Five of Cups. I have the World at the top of the deck. Okay, there was a past situation that has you emotionally distraught and feeling like there's a delayed justice. Justice came out to remind you that this situation where it felt so unfair, so emotionally, like you felt so emotionally ruined by this whole situation. There's evidence here to say like justice is on your side and Lady Karma always makes her rounds. So to know that not only will justice be served, but you also get the bless up from this situation, because I feel like it was unjust. So it's your confirmation that you're not crazy and you're not behind. Because I have the World at the top of the deck as well. Nice, and the Ace of Pentacles. So it's like there's pure potential for what you're going to be manifesting post this complete destroying of your emotional world, of your heart. There was such a situation here of just imploding on yourself, but how you needed to like create that space and depth within you in order to let in these blessings, because that's what I see is coming next. And that's like the karma completion, is you needed to have both. You needed to do the prerequisite work of this Five of Cups, like deep diving, so emotionally vulnerable, and feeling all the feels, going to new lows you didn't know that you had, in order to create the root system then to rebuild something that, what I'm hearing is, it's out of your control, this rebuilding process, as far as like the gifts and the blessings that actually come in and find you now. I think you're just going to be living your life, but like I think you're going to have many more gifts and opportunities and abundance coming your way, because now your capacity is more. But you had to create more capacity with the depth, because it always has to be both, right? We have to have one without the other. Like that's the balancing Justice Libra energy, is like there has to be balance. You cannot experience one without the other. So you already have done / are doing the prerequisite work of the deep diving, the emotional vulnerability, the being ripped open completely into, okay, well, let's see what happens now with the wisdom that you gain from being in such a dark place. And what I can see is like there could be a lot of really amazing things that you were not expecting to come into your life: relationships, opportunities, money, travel. It can be literally whatever, many things, because now you actually have the energetic capacity to hold it, the emotional capacity to hold it. What else can I tell my friend? I have the Seven of Pentacles reversed and the Five of Wands reversed. Nice. The Ten of Wands at the top of the deck. So how I see it is, you've played the game of giving too much in order to try to receive back. And it's not a game that you're really wanting to play anymore. You're much more aware of when you're starting to overgive, and as well, like when you're fighting where it doesn't benefit you, for example. I just see it as, you've made your rounds when it comes to how much you've overgave in the past, or how much you've played the game of ego, or what other people want you to do. And I just see it as like you are no longer available for the overgiving and the fighting of things that don't align with you. So you've done a lot of work when it comes to understanding your own patterns of overgiving. And obviously, like, a lot of that stems from childhood. So the relationships with your parents, with those around you, what you were conditioned into, those things just, you're really starting to rewire a lot of that. And I just see it as like you're not available for the dampening of you, much longer. That's what I see. What else can I tell my friend? I have the Star. I have the Hierophant reversed, and I have the Two of Pentacles. Ooh, I like this. It's like it's like getting out of the mind and more into the body. I think that's been a key for you lately. Yes, of course, we like rewire from the inside out, but like that's a vibration thing. Yes, it's happening in the mind, but it's also happening in the body. Like, that's where I feel you are more these days, like really trusting your gut, your intuition. That's the Star energy of just like understanding your unique, raw self, like without conditions, let's say, because that's the quantum Aquarius energy. That is the Star. The Hierophant reversed, I like that. It says, it's almost like the message is you've done enough work. Like, you've done so much. You've done so much work in the mind that it's time to embody in the body. And that's where the balance point needs to be. The Two of Pentacles is about coming back to that balance point. So perhaps you've been noticing that more within yourself, is like needing to get out of logic, needing to get out of like making sense of everything, and simply just being in the body and embodying all the wisdom that you've gained through this time period. To be honest, like not needing to make sense of everything right away, not needing to put things in categories and trying to understand them. What if you just could just exist without needing to make sense of everything around you? There would be more lightness, and I think that's what you're craving. Yeah, that's what I feel like this message is. But overall, with these two major arcanas, like you've gone through some heavy spiritual lessons, and continue to, but it's because you're here for a greater mission of, it's like being the actual embodiment, like bringing down all of the wisdom from spirit, from source, and embodying it in the physical, and simply being the example of that inspires others simply by you being you. So it's like less mind, more body. That's what I feel this message is saying. What else? What else can I tell my friend? I have the Fool. Yeah. The Fool did come out reversed, so I feel it as maybe sometimes you second guess yourself, but there really isn't a need. And as well, like sometimes it looks like you're taking like 2 steps back, but you're actually moving forward in ways. So it could feel like that momentarily right now. It's kind of like maybe you're not exactly where you want to be, or you can envision yourself being, but it's almost like this is a necessary like slow down or step back for you to, I'm hearing it as like gather the ingredients then to move forward and do what you truly want to do, and doing the visions that you have for your life. But this is a necessary step of like, okay, you can't move quite yet, but it's very important here that you gather what you need in order to do the next thing. Because if you don't have the things in place, if you don't have the ingredients, then you're not going to make the thing. It's not going to last. It's a very temporary surface level thing. So what you're doing is making sure that what you're stepping into lasts. That's so important for you. So I feel like spiritually you are being held back just slightly in order for you to gather what you need, and then to move forward into the future where you are more unbound because you have the foundations set. That's what I feel. All right, I'm going to move on to some oracle messages. I'm going to start with the Moonology deck. What message from the moon is most critical right now? Expect powerful change, the new moon eclipse. Nice. and then show the world the real you with the full moon in Aquarius. Nice. That's that star energy again. Yeah, that is literally what you are gathering the ingredients to be doing. It doesn't feel like it's quite time for this yet, but it feels like it's right around the corner, like even closer than you're expecting. So right now what you're doing is you're gaining the courage, you're gaining the momentum, you're gaining the identity of like who you really are and who you aren't. And I feel like, again, a lot of that like inner work, a lot of the mental work has been done, but now it's kind of like the action taking of like really embodying it in every day, taking the actions that align with this version of you that is not afraid to be seen. There could be a visibility issue here too. I'm kind of picking up on that, like feeling afraid to actually be seen in all of your glory, because then it's like, oh snap, they do see me. And maybe that's a scary thing, but to be honest, I think the fear around that is something that will dissolve as you just continue to show up, be seen, getting out of your comfort zone. But again, I think that's around the corner. That's not something you need to push into. It's kind of like a natural flowing process into like, okay, well, maybe I can let loose a little bit. Maybe I can try this out, take this risk. Yeah, it's a very intuitive thing, I can tell that, but when it starts to happen, it's going to be very quantum, and you're going to be shedding the layers of past limiting beliefs like very quickly. As you embody, you're like, okay, that is actually who I am. How I've been feeling on the inside is it, and now it's time to showcase, and obviously not to perform, but to embody, so that you honor your spirit and soul by embodying it in the human form. That's what I feel like this is a big change around in you in your life right now. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna let's pull from this animal deck. This is the deck. I always have the decks listed below in the description. Best message for my friend from this deck. Okay. We have almost there. Exactly. You're almost there. It's around the corner. This is number 44. I'm just going to read the little story about this card. This is the fox. In the blossoming spring, little fox frolicked and skipped in the wild woods. As he played, his attention was constantly drawn to a distant light. The light glimmered deep in the forest, past the rumbling river. Although he couldn't quite make out what the light was, every bone in his body knew that it was meant for him, and his soul would spark with joy when he saw it. It was as if the light were a magnet calling out to him. But whenever little fox ventured towards the light, he was always abruptly stopped by the roaring river before him. Little fox would fall into despair, for he could not unite with the light that called him. Time went on, and spring became summer. Little fox would continue to catch glimpses of the light, still filled with excitement and longing to unite with his beloved light. He would regularly attempt to reach it, only to again be blocked by the roaring river. More time passed, and as the autumn approached, little fox grew and learned many lessons, yet he was still faced with an unquenchable thirst for the light. When little fox became distraught and angry towards life, he often cried out in sharp howls, forsaking life for presenting him the beauty of the light without allowing him to embrace it. He grew mistrustful that life did not have his best interest in mind, and increasingly became hardened and jaded. Autumn transformed into winter. By this point, little fox was big fox, but his heart was broken, for the only thing he ever longed deeply for was out of his reach. Big fox gave up. During the early winter months, Big Fox did what he had to do to survive, but he had a hole in his heart. He walked with his head low, for he could not bear to look up and see the out-of-reach light. One night, as Big Fox lay asleep, snow began to fall. When Big Fox awoke, he was taken aback at this new element he had never experienced. As he started his day, he saw a gaggle of geese standing on the river in the distance, completely perplexed at how they were now standing on water. He approached the river with caution. He had learned through all of his seasons of life that he must be careful and cautious. As he put his paw on the water, he found it to be hard and sturdy. He gasped and thought, Could this be the path to my light? Big Fox carefully crossed the hard water with deep awareness. He listened for the cracks and creaks in the hard water and scanned the sky for hawk approaching. As he crossed the river with extreme care, it dawned on him that if he were Little Fox, he would have run boldly across the hard water without a care in the world and could have been hurt or even killed. A shower of epiphanies began to rain on him. He realized that he had to go through all the seasons and learn all the lessons to be prepared to walk towards the light destined for him. As Big Fox finally crossed the river, he thanked Mother Earth and Father Sky and understood that he had to wait to gain the wisdom that prepared him for crossing the great river. If there is something you yearn for in your heart and have been trying to achieve with little to no success, this is a profound confirmation that it is approaching. Be patient. There is wisdom in the waiting. This is the preparation time. You are gaining what you need to unite fully with what your heart desires. Endure, endure, endure. That's perfect. That's the perfect message for you, because that's what I'm seeing too in the energy. It's brewing, like it's already on its way to you. But there still is ingredients that you are gathering. There still is wisdom in this chapter that is very necessary for you to then succeed in what it is in this next phase. So you're in the phase of wisdom gathering, but this next phase you're stepping into is something big, and it is something different from what you've experienced. And so you need the proper equipment, foundations, all of that, ingredients, in order to really be in this new chapter in a solid way. That's what I feel with this card and with your overall message. So having the patience to be where you are and knowing, I feel like you have a glimpse of what this is, or a feeling, a knowing of it, and knowing that life is truly setting you up for success. It's not holding you back in the sense of keeping you from the thing. It's preparing you for the thing in such a loving way. So having patience with yourself in this journey, having patience with life is crucial, knowing that the doors will open up when it's time. But for now, it's time to nourish yourself. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna pull from this Goddess, Gods, and Guardians deck. We'll see what kind of guardian wants to come out and be known for you today. Thank you. Oh, wow. So it's the one from the front. I have no idea how to say this. Tazolat etel, forgive. I'm just going to see if there's anything that will help you here. Let's see. Okay. Let go of blame and punishment. Heal the past. Oh, wow. So she represents Mother Earth from the Aztecs, and the Huastec, an indigenous Mexican people, which is funny because I'm filming this in Mexico. Right now I'm in the land of the Mayans. Yeah. Let's, I just want to see what can be given to you here. Okay, when you've said or done something you regret, it can weigh heavily on your heart. It doesn't matter how long ago the mistake was made, you can go on punishing yourself for a lifetime. If someone hurt, betrayed, or disappointed you, it can be extremely challenging to let go of the harm they caused. She brings forward the most potent healing method that exists in our universe, forgiveness, she says. You've chosen a profound spiritual practice. This process may transform your life. Holding on to guilt or resentment eats away at the body and spirit. Bitterness is an unprocessed anger and will only fester, doing nothing to bring about healing change. This does not mean you condone abusive or cruel acts. It doesn't mean you forget or deny the harm. It means acknowledging that in order to move forwards in life, to claim both health and happiness, you must work on forgiving yourself and others. Just being willing is enough. Say an empathic prayer to bring the energy of forgiveness into your heart. I will take care of the rest. Forgiving is not always easy. It needs careful and thorough attention. It may not happen overnight, but remember, there is nothing on earth that cannot be healed through the miracle of forgiveness. Yeah, nice. I forgive myself, I forgive them, I set us both free. That's beautiful. And I always emphasize this when we're talking about forgiveness, and I like how they mentioned it here. It may not happen overnight. Like, you can understand intellectually the idea of forgiveness, but it's going to take your body the time it takes your body to actually process the forgiveness. That's not something you can rush. But the intentions are there that, yes, eventually I want to forgive, like truly embody the forgiveness, because that's really what sets you free. But it's going to take time, like, I know for me, it took me years, and it was such a layered process of like forgiving my past relationship, like, but now it's like, it was like years, but now it finally happened where I can just look back and just be grateful about the situation, and be neutral about it as well. So having that in mind when we're looking at the past, because I think that's part of your processing now too, and in this chapter it's so important that you take your time and don't rush anything as well, but have these intentions of like, the past hurts, like using that to propel you forward into something beautiful. Like I'm thinking like my ex like probably wanted me to shut down and like the hurt be so bad that I would just wither away into nothing. That's how it felt like at the time. But instead of retaliating or anything like that, I just like used my hurt and pain to like open up more doors of opportunities for me and like really start to go out and explore. And that's how I ended up in Mexico. It was because my intuition was like heightened and it told me like, leave the country, go to Mexico. So that's what I did. So I have this beautiful life now thanks to all of the hurt and pain and despair that I went through. I would not have this life had I not gone through that. So you get to use it to your advantage for sure. And then the forgiveness of the person, of the situation, it just takes time. It's not something to rush, but the intentions are there to like truly get back to that neutral position energetically, emotionally. That can happen. I feel like that has happened for me, so I know it's living proof of that can happen. Yeah. So that's fun. I haven't gotten that card from this deck yet. I am going to finish off your reading with one more card from the I Create My Reality deck. Oh, there it is. There it is. It says, I say yes to life. My words are magic spells. Every word you speak is an affirmation. Our words have vibrations. Learn the power of positive affirmations. The universe will give you more of what you affirm. If you talk about what you don't want, it creates attraction to that very thing. Stop complaining. Instead, talk about blessings in your life and you will create more of that. Say yes to your dreams. Say yes to your potential. Say yes to your life. That's the message. Yes, so watch how you talk to yourself, watch your inner dialogue, because that then is creating your vibration, which is creating the signal of everything either coming into you or being repelled from you. So just being grateful for what you have around you cannot be overstated. And then as well, just like how you talk to yourself, how you talk about what's possible for you in your life. Those are things to really look at and to take radical responsibility for, because they can be switched up, changed, as you notice them and as you take, the responsibility to pick what you want to be focusing on. That is something we have free will about, I do believe. So that includes your reading. I hope it brought you nourishment and confirmation for exactly where you are on your journey at the moment. Come on back whenever you need more nourishment. My channel is a library of timeless mystery readings. I have my link down below to work with me, and as well, you can like, subscribe, and comment below how this reading resonated with you. Until the next one, guys, I'll see you there. Bye.